What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now 238 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And who knows, maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the summer. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it, on the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners over at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because more than 85% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. And to top it all off, we got to get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is basically today's video. But the question of the day is this: among the card as it sits now, what are your guys' predictions for NXT No Mercy? Let me know down in the comments below. And for today's video, it is all about my predictions for NXT No Mercy. And the crazy thing is that this is probably by far the most stacked No Mercy card we've had ever in NXT history. And I am not going to waste any time. I'm going to get straight into it, because kicking things off is a match that is almost a decade in the making, as former MSK brothers Wesley and Zachary Wentz will do battle. And this is crazy, because this is the first time that not one but two current NXT stars are going to be competing at No Mercy. First is obviously Zachary Wentz, and then the other one, well, I'm sure you could take a guess, but more on that a little later on in the video. But here's the crazy thing. When they were known as MSK, everyone knows the story. They were one of the best. They were literally by far one of the greatest tag teams in NXT history since the Undisputed Era, and we all know that the UE dominated NXT for the latter part of 4 years. 4 years dominated NXT and won all the gold in NXT in 2019, 2020, which was absolutely insane. The crazy thing is that these guys won the men's Dusty Cup, and then they went on to become NXT Tag Team Champions. Actually, they won the titles not once, but twice. And unfortunately, Zachary Wentz did some dumb bullshit, and he got released from WWE. And we all know what happened there. Wesley went into a downward spiral and realized that he needed to step up his game. And we all know what happened from there. Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel went on to become TNA Tag Team Champions. Wesley went on to become NXT North American Champion and held the title for well over a year until the Judgment Day came along. Then of course we all know what happened there. Wesley had multiple opportunities at the North American title this past year. MSK reunites, and the rest is pretty much history from there. It's pretty crazy because obviously Zachary Wentz, learns from his mistakes and realized, hey, I fucked up. I fucked up big time. I want to rectify those wrongs. And he tried. He tried to rectify those wrongs when he and Wes challenged for the NXT Tag Team titles at the Great American Bash, and it was all for naught. And now this is happening. This is crazy because obviously we know that Zachary Wentz has changed a lot in NXT this past month and a half at best. He truly, genuinely has changed a lot, and I'm happy for him. I think that his time in TNA, especially the last couple of years, have really helped him out a little bit. But now with this Sunday, it's put up or shut up. He needs to prove that he needs to prove to Wesley that what he did at the Bash was absolute bullshit. And I think this is the match that will definitely make or break both former members of MSK. And honestly, as crazy as it sounds, this new version of Wesley, I don't know. A part of me is not digging it at all, but a part of me is also saying that maybe this version of him can finally become NXT North American Champion, or perhaps even go after the NXT title at some point. But Zachary Wentz, on the other hand, if he does good enough in this match, it might convince Shawn Michaels to bring him back to NXT full time, which is possible, but only time will tell. But at this point, it's hard to say. It's hard to say who will come out on top, but this is a match that Wesley definitely needs to win, because if he wins this match, he can finally put the past behind him and focus more on the NXT title, which as of right now is currently being held by Ethan Page, but for how long? So my money is on Wesley. And speaking of the North American title and NXT Heatwave, Obafemi defends his title against Tony D'Angelo. The crazy thing is that Tony D has had multiple opportunities at said North American title over the last few years or so, and has had no luck whatsoever. But this might be one of those times where Obafemi could very may well have met his match, because Tony D'Angelo is a tough dude. There's a reason why he's known as the Don of NXT. He is one of the toughest dudes. Excuse me. He is one of the toughest dudes that we have ever seen in NXT, and this is going to be a fight that no one will ever forget, because you look at what Tony has done since coming to NXT. He He beats Tommaso Ciampa at Stand and Deliver in Dallas, I believe in Dallas, Texas, couple of years ago. Excuse me. He goes on to become a 2-time NXT Tag Team Champion. He wins the NXT Heritage Cup. He has multiple opportunities at the NXT title, and not only that, but he's made the D'Angelo family stronger than ever before with the addition of both Adriana Rizzo and of course Luca Crucifino, the consortiary, I believe is how it's pronounced, or I guess in simpler terms, their lawyer, I guess, if you will. Yeah, he's done quite a bit, but this is the one match that Tony needs to win because there's really no telling what will happen next for him if he loses. So I think this is the one match that Obafemi could very may well have met his match. But as crazy as it is for me to admit it, I think Tony D's gonna win. I think the Don is going to pick up that victory over Oba and become North American champion, which would then put Wesley back in title contention for said North American title at some point. So it's possible, but we'll have to wait and see. But my money is on Tony D'Angelo. Next up, we've got the women's North American title between Kalani Jordan and Wendy Chu. I don't even know how to describe this matchup because you basically have two elusive fan favorites, if you will, in both Kalani and Wendy, and they both want the title. Excuse me. As we had saw this past Tuesday on NXT, we saw Wendy Chu bring in Rosemary from TNA, and we all know Rosemary. If you guys remember the old faction from TNA known as Decay, I believe it was I believe it was Rosemary, Crazy Steve, and the Monster Abyss. I do remember that very fondly, though. That was quite the interesting quite the interesting trio, I guess, if you will. And Rosemary has had a lot of success in TNA, especially becoming a former TNA Knockouts champion, a former Knockouts Tag Team champion. She's had quite a bit of success, and Wendy Chu and Rosemary showed up to NXT just to soften up Kalani Jordan a little bit for Wendy Chu. But this is going to be the match that will truly, I know I said this with I think with the Wesley Zachary Wentz matchup, but this is pretty much make or break for Kalani, because if she loses, everybody in that locker room is going to see her as nothing more than a loser. You know, as a loser who lost her title to a woman that those same superstars see as a loser in Wendy Chu. But Wendy Chu has had quite a bit of success in her own right. In fact, her and Dakota Kai made it to, I believe to the semifinals of the Women's Dusty Cup a number of years ago. So she's had quite a bit of success. But this is the one match that will definitely make Wendy's career if she becomes champion. But I really don't see that happening anytime soon, unless if like Rosemary shows up this Sunday, which I doubt it. But we'll have to wait and see. But my money is on Kalani Jordan. I think Kalani is gonna retain just because of the fact that we're only like we're only just like we're only like a few months into her reign as champion, and I think it's safe to say that Kalani Jordan, I don't think she'll be losing her title anytime soon, but it could be this Sunday, so only time will tell. But my money is definitely on Kalani Jordan. Next up, we've got the NXT Tag Team titles between Chase Hughes, Andre Chase, and of course Ridge Holland against Axiom and Nathan Frazer in a rematch from a couple of weeks ago, where Chase Hughes picked up the victory over Axiom and Frazer, and now they want the rematch. The question now becomes this: can Ridge Holland remain NXT Tag Team Champion with Andre Chase? And the answer, in my opinion, is no. I'm being real, I do not see that happening at all. The reason for this is because of this. You look at his time on NXT UK. There have been multiple opportunities for management to put him in title contention for the NXT UK title at one point in his career. Then he jumped ship over to NXT, and the first time around, it was all right. You know his time was okay, but he still had some room to learn. Then of course he jumped ship over to the main roster alongside Pete Dunne and Sheamus, and that backfired so quickly because once Clash of the Castle in Cardiff came to an end, and Sheamus lost the opportunity to become Intercontinental Champion, it was over from the start. We knew that there was no way in hell that Ridge Holland was ever going to be a champion on the main roster, so he ends up going back to NXT, and now he's a champion. Again, the question becomes, can he remain champion? No. As crazy as it sounds, I think Frazer and Axiom have been together long enough to the point where they don't make mistakes all that much. But Ridge and Chase, they could end up making a lot of mistakes. So my money is on Axiom and Frazer, which could definitely lead to a possible heel turn for Ridge Holland at some point. But it could also lead as well to a heel turn for Duke Hudson, because he at one point in his career was a heel, but it sort of worked out, but at the same time it kind of didn't. So I think with this tag title match, we're gonna be in for some fireworks. But speaking of fireworks, these next two are going to be as chaotic as it can be. Ethan Page, Joe Hendry for the NXT title with Trick Williams as the special guest referee. Here's the crazy thing. I never would have imagined, because we saw earlier this year excuse me, because we saw at Battleground Jordan Grace becoming the first TNA star to challenge for an NXT title on NXT soil. Joe Hendry is the second person to do it. This time will be for the NXT title, and he actually earned the opportunity last week by winning a triple threat that featured himself, Wesley, and Pete Dunne, and Trick Williams helped Joe Hendry win that matchup, and it was interesting to say the very least. But I will say though, I will say these last few weeks, actually this past month, that Joe Hendry has been in a part of NXT. He started to grow on me. I think he's gonna be a guy that will definitely be a force to be reckoned with, and with Trick Williams as the guest referee, he could end up becoming an NXT champion. But knowing Ethan Page, he'll do whatever the hell it takes to remain NXT champion. But I don't know. This is one that I really don't think I can call. But if I had to put my money on it, as much as I would love to see Joe Hendry win said NXT title, I think we're gonna be crowning a brand new. I think we're gonna be crowning a still champion in Ethan Page. I think Ethan has worked too hard to lose the title to a guy from TNA. At least in his eyes. At least in his eyes. It's not me saying it. It's more of what he would say, if you will. So I could totally see this going either way. But my money is on Ethan Page. And now for the NXT Women's title, which is going to be rather interesting to say the very least, as Roxanne Perez will defend her title against Jada Parker, who won a gauntlet eliminator to earn the opportunity to challenge for the NXT Women's title. And what I find so crazy is that we saw Jada Parker look at someone and say, "You can get this work next." Who could she have been talking to? It could have been anybody. For all we know, no, it could have been Steph Vacure. I believe it's her name. I'm like butchering it right now. So I apologize. Or it could be Julia, for all we know. But then again, it could also be another TNA star, which is possible. But here's the crazy thing. Roxanne Perez worked her ass off to try to regain the NXT Women's title, and in Roxanne's eyes, Jada Parker isn't on her level, but I don't see it that way. Jada Parker has a lot to prove. Excuse me. Because as crazy as it sounds, I think the fans of Denver, Colorado are going to end up cheering for Jada Parker, because she's the odds-on favorite to win the whole damn thing, to win the whole matchup and become NXT Women's Champion. But when you really think about it, and you look at what happened at NXT Heat back at Heatwave in Toronto, Roxanne used everything at her disposal to retain the NXT Women's title against Lola Vice. She even used the distraction of Ash by Elegance from TNA to pick up the victory over none other than Jordynne Grace. So it's possible that third time could be the charm, but we will have to wait and see. But my money is definitely on Roxanne Perez. I think she is definitely going to 100% retain her NXT Women's title. But as far as who they were both talking to, maybe we might see that person at No Mercy, but only time will tell. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more PLE predictions and results in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.